The Emperor's lightning tore through Darth Vader's armor, searing his circuits, burning what little remained of his flesh. But Anakin Skywalker refused to let go. He lifted Palpatine high, the old Sith screaming in fury, and hurled him down the reactor shaft. The explosion of DarkSide energy rippled through the throne room, knocking Luke backward. Vader collapsed, smoke rising from his melted chest plate. "Father!" Luke scrambled to his side. Anakin's respirator wheezed, damaged beyond function. His mask cracked. Through the shattered lens, one blue eye stared up at his son. "Luke!" The voice was weak, distorted. "Help me!" Luke didn't hesitate. He hauled his father upright, dragging him toward the hangar. Around them, the Death Star shuddered. Explosions rocked the corridors. Stormtroopers fled in panic. Imperial officers abandoned their posts. The station was dying. Luke activated his comlink. "This is Skywalker. I need immediate extraction. Docking Bay 327. His voice cracked. "I have a wounded. I have someone who needs medical attention." Wedge Antilles responded through static. "Luke, the whole station's coming apart. You've got 2 minutes, maybe less. Then get here in 1. Luke half-carried, half-dragged Vader through collapsing passageways. Sparks showered from severed power lines. Bulkheads groaned and buckled. Vader's weight pressed down on him. Every step a struggle. "Leave me," Anakin rasped. "Save yourself." "Not a chance," Luke shot back. "I didn't come this far to lose you now." They reached the hangar just as Wedge's X-Wing screamed in, flanked by 2 A-Wings. The pilots stared in shock at the sight. Luke Skywalker, supporting the broken body of Darth Vader. "Commander, are you? Open the shuttle," Luke shouted. Now, an Imperial shuttle sat abandoned nearby. Luke dragged his father up the ramp, sealed the hatch, and fired the engines. The shuttle lurched forward, bursting from the hangar just as the Death Star's superstructure began its final collapse. Through the viewport, Luke saw it, the massive battle station, folding in on itself, exploding in a cascade of fire and light. The Emperor was dead. The Empire was broken. But Anakin Skywalker still lived. And that changed everything. Inside the shuttle, Luke tore open emergency supply lockers, searching for anything that could keep his father breathing. Anakin lay on the deck, his respirator hissing erratically. Warning lights blinked across his chest panel. "Luke!" His voice was barely a whisper. "It's no use." "Stop talking like that," Luke snapped. His hands trembled as he connected a portable oxygen unit to his father's mask. The hissing steadied, but only slightly. "Just hold on. We're almost to the fleet." Through the cockpit window, the Rebel Armada came into view. Dozens of ships, celebrating their victory. Fireworks of blaster fire lit the void. Starfighters looped and rolled in triumph. Luke grabbed the comm. "This is Commander Skywalker. I need an immediate medical frigate, Priority Alpha." The response was instant. "Luke, you're alive. We thought." "Medical frigate now." Luke's voice carried an edge of desperation. "I have a critical patient. He won't survive without immediate intervention." A pause. Then Admiral Akbar's voice crackled through. "Redirecting the redemption to your position. Medical team standing by." Another pause. "Luke, who is the patient?" Luke looked back at his father, at the shattered mask, the failing armor. "Someone who deserves a second chance," he said quietly. The medical frigate Redemption emerged from the fleet, its docking bay doors already open. Luke guided the shuttle in, landing hard. The ramp dropped. A team of rebel medics rushed forward, then froze. Darth Vader lay inside. "What is this?" The lead medic, a Twi'lek woman, stepped back in horror. "Commander, that's..." "He saved my life," Luke said firmly. "He killed the Emperor. He's the reason we won." He met her eyes. "And he's my father." Silence. Then, slowly, the medical team moved forward. They lifted Anakin onto a repulsor gurney, rushing him toward the surgical bay. Luke followed, ignoring the stares, the whispers, the disbelief. In the operating theater, droids and surgeons worked frantically. Anakin's armor was cut away piece by piece, revealing the scarred, broken body beneath. Burns covered nearly every inch of skin. His lungs were collapsing. A medical droid turned to Luke. "His chances of survival are less than 12%. Luke's jaw tightened. "Then we beat the odds." Outside the surgical bay, word was already spreading. Darth Vader was alive. The conference room aboard the command ship Home 1 was silent, until it wasn't. Absolutely not. General Crix Madine slammed his fist on the table. That monster murdered thousands, millions. We can't just forgive him because he had a last-minute change of heart. He killed the Emperor, Luke countered, standing at the foot of the table. Without him, we'd all be dead. The Empire would still rule. And before that, Leia's voice was cold, controlled. He tortured me, destroyed Alderaan, hunted us across the galaxy. She looked at Luke, her eyes hard. You're asking us to forgive the unforgivable. Luke flinched, but didn't back down. I'm asking you to give him a chance. He's my father, Leia. He's your father too. Leia stood abruptly, turning away. Her hands clenched. For a long moment, she said nothing. When she spoke, her voice trembled. I felt him in the Force, his pain, his regret. I know he turned back to the light. She faced the council. But knowing doesn't erase what he did. Mon Mothma, seated at the head of the table, raised a hand for silence. This is not simply a question of forgiveness, she said carefully. This is a question of justice and precedent. If we spare Vader, what message does that send? That war criminals can escape punishment if they switch sides at the last moment. Admiral Akbar nodded gravely. The galaxy has suffered under his hand for decades. Entire star systems will demand his execution. Then let them demand it in a trial, Luke urged. A fair trial. Let the galaxy hear his testimony. Let them understand what the Empire truly was. He knows everything, every secret, every atrocity, every hidden base. He looked around the room. He can help us end this war for good. Silence stretched. Finally, Mon Mothma spoke. Very well. Anakin Skywalker will be placed under heavy guard and medical observation. When he is stable, he will stand trial before the New Republic. His testimony will be heard. Her gaze hardened. But make no mistake, justice will be served. One way or another. The council adjourned. Luke exhaled, relief flooding through him. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was time. In the medical bay, Anakin lay unconscious, surrounded by guards. His breathing was steady now, supported by new life support systems. But outside the ship, across the holonet, the news was spreading. Darth Vader lived, and the galaxy wanted his head. The trial chamber was packed. Senators, military leaders, journalists from 100 worlds, all crammed into the converted cruiser hangar. Holonet cameras captured every angle. At the center, Anakin Skywalker. He stood without his armor, fitted instead with a sleek, medical exoskeleton. His face was visible, scarred, pale, but undeniably human. Shackles bound his wrists. 2 armed guards flanked him. Mon Mothma's voice echoed through the chamber. Anakin Skywalker, you stand accused of war crimes, genocide, and crimes against sentient life across the galaxy. How do you plead? Anakin's voice was quiet, but it carried. Guilty. To all charges. A murmur rippled through the crowd. However, Anakin continued, I ask permission to testify. Not to excuse my actions, but to expose the truth of the Empire. To reveal the scope of Palpatine's evil, and to help dismantle what remains. Mon Mothma nodded slowly. You may speak. And so, Anakin spoke. He described the DarkSide's seduction, how Palpatine had manipulated him for years, exploiting his fears, his love for Padme, his desperation to save her. He revealed the Sith Lord's true identity, how the Chancellor had orchestrated the clone wars from both sides, playing the Republic and Separatists like puppets. The crowd listened in stunned silence. Anakin detailed the atrocities he had committed. The massacre at the Jedi Temple, the execution of Separatist leaders, the destruction of Alderaan, and his role in enabling Tarkin's decision. He named names, exposed secret projects, hidden bases, and Imperial commanders still at large. Project Blackwing, Anakin said, his voice heavy. A bioweapon designed to reanimate the dead. The Emperor intended to unleash it if he ever lost control. Gasps echoed. Operation Cinder, a contingency plan to burn entire worlds in the event of his death. Even now, Imperial commanders may be executing his final orders. Leia, seated in the front row, felt her stomach turn. Luke, beside her, reached for her hand. She didn't pull away. Anakin's testimony continued for hours. He spoke of inquisitors, tortured Jedi children twisted into DarkSide hunters. He described the Empire's slave labor camps, the systematic extermination of non-human species, the destruction of cultures and histories. By the end, even his harshest critics sat in silence. Mon Mothma finally spoke. This testimony will be distributed across the holonet. The galaxy deserves to know the truth. She looked at Anakin. You have provided invaluable intelligence. That will be taken into account. But before sentencing could be discussed, alarms blared. An aide rushed in, breathless. Imperial fleet detected. They're targeting this position. Anakin's expression darkened. They've come for me. The attack came at midnight. Imperial commandos breached the detention wing, silent, efficient, lethal. Their orders were clear. Kill the traitor Vader. Alarms shrieked. Blast doors slammed shut. Luke, sleeping in quarters nearby, bolted awake, igniting his lightsaber as he ran. He reached the corridor, just as the commandos blasted through the final security checkpoint. Stop! Luke shouted. They opened fire. Luke deflected the bolts, sending them back with deadly precision. 3 commandos dropped. The rest advanced, thermal detonators primed. Then Leia was there, blaster in hand, flanked by a squad of rebel soldiers. Stand down, she ordered. The commandos didn't hesitate. They threw the detonators. Luke reached out with the Force, catching the explosives mid-air and hurling them back. The blast tore through the commandos, leaving only scorched armor and silence. Inside the cell, Anakin remained seated, calm. They won't stop, he said quietly as Luke and Leia entered. The Empire sees me as the ultimate betrayal, a symbol of weakness. Then we move you, Leia said curtly. Somewhere they can't reach. There is nowhere they can't reach, Anakin replied. Moff Jarek, Admiral Tarvek, Commander Davik, they're fanatics. They'll burn the galaxy to ash before they let me live. Luke paced. Then we need to draw them out. Use you as bait. Absolutely not, Leia snapped. That's exactly what they want. And if we don't, Luke countered, they'll keep attacking. Innocent people will die. He looked at his father. You know where they'll strike next. You trained these people. Anakin nodded slowly. They'll target supply lines, try to force the New Republic to relocate me. Then they'll ambush the convoy. He paused. But if we anticipate that, we can turn the trap around. Leia's jaw tightened. She hated admitting it, but he was right. 3 days later, the convoy launched. A heavily armed transport, escorted by X-wings and frigates, carried Anakin toward a secure facility on Chandrila. Intelligence confirmed Imperial forces were tracking them. The ambush came near the Coruscant system. Imperial Star Destroyers dropped out of hyperspace, flanked by TIE bombers. The battle was brutal. Rebel ships twisted and burned. But Luke, piloting his X-wing, sensed something wrong. This is a diversion, Anakin's voice crackled over the comm. The real attack is. An explosion rocked the transport. Internal sabotage. A sleeper agent aboard the ship had detonated charges in the engine room. The transport spiraled, venting atmosphere. Luke's heart seized. Father! But Anakin was already moving. Using the Force, he sealed the breach, holding the ship together by sheer will. I'm not dying today, Anakin growled. But the message was clear. The Empire would never stop until one of them was dead. The academy on Ossus was small, just a dozen students, all Force-sensitive refugees discovered after the Empire's fall. Luke led the training, but it was Anakin's presence that unsettled them. The man who had been Darth Vader, now their teacher. Form 3 Sorisu, Anakin instructed, pacing slowly before the students. His mechanical legs whirred softly. The defensive form. When you're outnumbered, outgunned, patience is your greatest weapon. A young Twi'lek girl, Kira, raised her hand hesitantly. Master Skywalker, is it true you fought hundreds of Jedi? Silence fell. Anakin stopped. His expression darkened. Yes, he said quietly. I did. How? She pressed. How could you? Because I was afraid. Anakin cut her off. His voice hardened. I was afraid of loss, of death. That fear became anger. Anger became hate. He looked each student in the eye. And hate consumed everything I loved. The students shifted uncomfortably. Luke stepped forward. That's why we train. To recognize those feelings, and to let them pass without acting on them. But later, alone in the meditation chamber, Anakin felt the familiar pull. The dark side whispered, seductive, promising power, control. It had been months since the Emperor's death, but the temptation remained. He closed his eyes, breathing slowly. No, he murmured. Not again. A presence entered the room. Leia. You're struggling, she said simply. It wasn't a question. Anakin didn't open his eyes. Every day, Leia sat across from him. For a long moment, she said nothing. Then, I spoke to my son today. Ben. He's strong in the Force. Anakin's eyes opened. You're afraid I'll corrupt him? Yes. Leia's voice was blunt. I'm afraid you'll teach him the wrong lessons. That he'll see power as the answer. Then teach him yourself, Anakin said. Show him what I couldn't see, that strength isn't control. It's letting go. Leia studied him. Slowly, cautiously, she reached out, touching his scarred hand. I felt your pain, she said softly. When you killed the Emperor, I felt your anguish, your regret. She paused. But I also felt hope. For the first time, I felt like maybe you were still in there. Anakin's voice cracked. I don't know if I deserve your forgiveness. You don't, Leia said flatly. But I'm trying to give it anyway. That night, Anakin dreamed. He saw Padme, standing in a field of light. She smiled. But when he reached for her, she faded. And behind her, a shadow stirred. A voice cold and familiar. You cannot escape what you are. Anakin woke, drenched in sweat. The dark side was patient, and it wasn't done with him yet. The first planet to burn was Naboo. Orbital defense platforms, dormant for years, suddenly activated. They turned their cannons downward, firing on the surface. Cities erupted in flames. Millions died in minutes. Then Corellia. Then Chandrila. Then Hosnian Prime. Across the galaxy, ancient Imperial weapons roared to life. Mon Mothma's voice was frantic over the holo transmission. Skywalker, what is happening? Our own systems are turning against us. Anakin stood in the command center, his face ashen. The Vader protocols, he whispered. Luke spun toward him. The what? Palpatine's contingency. Anakin's voice was hollow. If I ever betrayed him, if I ever turned, he programmed every system I touched to destroy itself. He looked at the carnage spreading across the star map. I authorized security codes for hundreds of installations. I commanded fleets. I oversaw weapons projects. His hands trembled. He turned me into a doomsday trigger. Leia's voice cut through. Can you stop it? There are shutdown codes, Anakin said slowly. But they're buried in the Imperial archives on Coruscant. Deep in the sublevel vaults, places only Palpatine and I could access. Then we go, Luke said immediately. It's a trap, Anakin warned. He wanted me to return. The entire archive will be designed to kill me. Then it's a good thing you're not going alone, Leia said, stepping forward. She met his gaze. We end this. Together. The mission was desperate. A small strike team, Luke, Leia, Anakin, and a squad of rebel commandos, infiltrated Coruscant under the cover of night. The Imperial Palace loomed above them, dark, abandoned, but still radiating menace. They descended into the sublevel archives, past rows of data banks and ancient Sith artifacts. The air grew colder, darker. This place reeks of the dark side, Luke muttered. Anakin led them deeper. His mechanical legs echoed against the stone floor. Finally, they reached a massive vault door, inscribed with Sith runes. Only I can open this, Anakin said. He placed his hand on the door. It hissed open. Inside, a single terminal glowed. But surrounding it were dozens of sentry droids, their weapons trained on the entrance. Welcome, Lord Vader, a synthetic voice intoned. Your betrayal was anticipated. As punishment, you will watch the galaxy burn. The droids opened fire. Luke and Leia ignited their lightsabers, deflecting blasts. The commandos returned fire. But the droids kept coming, endless waves programmed for one purpose, kill the traitor. Anakin pushed forward, reaching the terminal. His fingers flew across the controls. I need 2 minutes. You've got 1. Leia shouted, cutting down a droid. Anakin accessed the shutdown codes, but a message flashed on the screen. Biometric scan required. Sith Lord's signature detected. Initiating final protocol. The floor beneath them began to crack. A chasm opened, revealing a pit of molten fire. And from the flames, something began to rise. The eclipse emerged from hyperspace like a black dagger, blotting out the stars. It dwarfed even the old Executor-class superstar destroyers. At its heart pulsed a weapon unlike any other, a DarkSide-powered superlaser, fueled by corrupted Kyber crystals. Its target, Chandrila, capital of the New Republic. We have 1 hour, Admiral Akbar's voice crackled through the comm, maybe less. Our fleet can't penetrate its shields. Anakin stared at the view screen. There's an access port near the reactor core. I designed it as an emergency hatch. If we can get inside, we can overload the weapon before it fires. That's a suicide run, a commando muttered. Then I'll go alone, Anakin said quietly. No. Luke stepped forward. We go together, like we should have done from the beginning. Leia watched them, her expression conflicted. Finally, she nodded. May the Force be with you. The infiltration was flawless. Luke and Anakin piloted a stolen Imperial shuttle through the Eclipse's hangar, slipping past patrols and security checkpoints. They moved through the corridors like ghosts, Anakin's knowledge of Imperial architecture guiding them deeper. But as they neared the reactor core, they felt it. A presence. Cold. Familiar. He's still here, Anakin whispered. Palpatine's essence, embedded in the ship itself. This weapon isn't just technology. It's Sith sorcery. The corridor ahead warped, shadows coalescing into a spectral form. The Emperor's voice echoed, distorted and hateful. You cannot destroy what you helped create, Vader. This weapon is your legacy, your monument to darkness. Anakin ignited his lightsaber. My legacy is standing beside me. Luke stepped forward, his own blade glowing. We end this. Now. The battle was unlike anything Luke had experienced. Palpatine's essence lashed out with force lightning, telekinetic blasts, waves of pure malevolence. Father and son fought side by side, their movements synchronized, their bond in the Force unbreakable. Let go, Anakin, Luke shouted. Stop holding on to the past. Anakin faltered. The dark side whispered promises, power, control, the strength to protect those he loved. But then he looked at Luke, his son, the man who had never given up on him. I don't need the dark side, Anakin said quietly. I never did. He reached out, not with anger, but with peace. The Force flowed through him, light and warm. He and Luke combined their strength, channeling the light side through the ship's corrupted core. The Kyber crystals screamed, their dark energy unraveling. Palpatine's essence shrieked. You will die here. Perhaps, Anakin said. But I die a Jedi. The reactor core exploded. Anakin grabbed Luke, shielding him as the ship tore itself apart. They ran, escaping seconds before the Eclipse folded in on itself, consumed by its own corrupted power. They tumbled into the void, caught by Leia's ship. Months later, Anakin stood on Naboo, at Padme's grave. I'm sorry I took so long, he whispered. Behind him, Luke and Leia waited. A family, finally reunited. The Empire was gone, and Anakin Skywalker was home.